Hello, hello. Trying to see if you can speak. Miss Trudy. Any questions? Anything you want to go over, discuss, tighten up on, work on? I'm going to be looking at a load that a broker sent me via email and maybe even reach out to the broker. See what they have. You had audio the last training. I'm trying to see if you got audio tonight, Miss Trudy. Okay. I think I lost her there, but that's good. I think she'll be back. Let's see here. Okay. Live training. I had to copy the link. Waiting on people to come in. It's still early. Got 4 people in here. What's up, Mike? Kobe's here. What's going on, Kobe? About to have a Black Wall Street. Hey, Mike, how did it go with that carrier? Good evening, Ali B Trucking. Kobe, can you guys hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me. I know the recording's going.
Hey, yes, yes,
okay, and then I got brokers texting me and emailing me now. Kitten, I think Kitten is part of the brokerage Global Divas brokerage, I believe. The Mike, the carrier that you and I were when we was the last training, we was on the load board trying to find a load for that guy going from I think it was where was he at? Missouri or Kansas somewhere, I believe. Okay, I got people trying to come in. Oh, you booked him out for the week. Great, 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 great. So I'm waiting on a few people. Give me a few minutes. I got Kitten in here from Kitten. Can you hear me? Are you on the laptop or on the telephone? Let's see. Someone said, I'm sorry, there's no dial tone, no dial in number or access code on my screen. Let me take her to there, www Exodus. So she's trying to get in. And then under dispatcher 101, select live online. So let me see. Live online dispatch training. Live online dispatch training. Okay, there we go. So, let's see who we have here so far while I'm waiting. Hello, Kitten.
Hey.
You're from Global Divas, right?
From where?
Global Divas. Are you part of the Global Divas brokerage?
No.
Okay. Oh, you're the person I spoke to this afternoon.
Yes.
With from Philly.
Yes.
Okay. How are you? Glad you can join us. Waiting on a few people to come in. Let's see here. I got some background noise with someone. Okay. You got some. Okay, there we go. Gertrude, Mr. Wilkinson. Okay. All right. So, I'm waiting for other people to tune in, but want to start off any questions that people may have. I know I spoke to Miss Kitten, so I'll let you pose. Can you pose that question that you were talking to me earlier about today when you called me, Miss Kitten? If you can unmute yourself. Okay, Mike is on here twice. Miss Kitten. Okay, I think Miss Kitten, she called me. She's from Philadelphia. I think she was a Pennsylvania number, and she was asking about the difference between being a dispatcher and being a freight broker. What's the easiest entry point, and as far as training, how does that work and things like that? And I told her to tune in to tonight's training, and we can kind of go over some of the prerequisites and the requirements of being a dispatcher versus the prerequisites and requirements of being a freight broker. So is that kind of what you were asking, Ms. Kitten? I'm trying to see if she can unmute herself. Let's see. And I have area code 770. That may be one of the ladies that I spoke to last night. Who was that?
Trudy.
Oh, Miss Trudy. Okay. How are you doing, Miss Trudy?
I am fine so far.
So far. Okay. Do you have any particular question you wanted to?
No.
Let me give the. Oh, I see what they're doing. Only laptops, not mobile ready. I see what they're doing yet. I got people trying to tune in with the laptop. All right, still waiting for a few other people to come in. What's up, Robert?
Hey, what's up, Charles? How you doing today, bro?
Okay. I gotta an email from a load from a broker. I want you to take a look at. Maybe we can probably the numbers looking like. But I'll wait for a few more people to come in. You sound like you're driving in that truck.
Yeah. I'm out here. This is what I do, man. This is on a Sunday. This is on that Sunday morning, man. You know, I'm just waking up. You know, so yeah, tune in. But it's amazing how people drive out here when they see the sign that says what's the sign say? It says narrow lanes.
Yeah.
I'm like, people don't understand, you know, what narrow means, I don't believe, so.
Yeah. I got some news for you, Robert. A gentleman called me from Colombia, South America, wanting to go through the training. So I offered him to be a dispatcher, you know, for the Spanish-speaking carriers that we're trying to find a niche for, you know. So he's going to enroll in the. He speaks good English, and of course, obviously, he's Colombian, so he speaks, you know, Spanish. So I said, yeah, I said I can use your services where we can target the Latino, you know, the Spanish-speaking truck drivers who have a difficult time communicating with brokers and, you know, paperwork and things like that. If we can get that niche of carriers, you know, go from there. So
right.
So he called me from an international number. He's going to link his international number to like a Google Voice number or some type of number that can get him acclimated. Because if he has to call me all the time from his international number, it's going to be very expensive for him. I told him, you need to work on getting your, you know, the communications link via telephone. And then we can go from there. And I'll train you. I'll show you everything you need to do as far as dispatching. And then we just target the Latino Spanish-speaking carriers and go from there.
Right.
And we can do maybe one or two of each equipment type, you know, and go from there. So,
yeah, it'll work.
Yeah. And I also just saw an email here, a broker from VirginiaTransport.net, Colleen. She sends me loads every now and then, but here's one here. It's picking up on the 6th in Texarkana, Texas, and it's dropping off in Beatty, Nevada. It's either a flatbed or a 40-foot step deck or like a hot shot kind of thing. It's only 15,000 pounds. So my thing is, and it's paying $3,100.
Right.
So the question is, Texarkana, Texas to Beatty, Nevada. What is that distance? That's the first thing, right? To determine if it's a good rate. So.
Right. You know what it is? What the product is? Commodity is?
I'm gonna call her on this training tonight. To ask all that.
All right. Okay.
Because it's 15,000 pounds, it can't be that much, right? Though. So
yeah,
it's going.
I'm curious.
Yeah, it's going 1,469 by 1,470 miles. So 3,100. 1,470, that's 210, 211. So, and then she had another one going from Texarkana, Texas. So it seems like she has a shipper that's based in Texarkana, and that was going to Indian Springs, Nevada. It's either a 48-foot flatbed or a 40-foot step deck, 15,000 pounds, and that's paying $3,000. She said, let me know either. I can give her a call like literally right now to see if she picks up so I can see and get the commodity.
I'm mute. I'm going to go on mute here so I can hear what you say.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, let me see if she picks up. And she's in Chicago. I'm sharing.
Sorry, I couldn't get to the phone right now. Leave me a message. Thanks. At the tone.
Okay, so she's in Chicago. I'm on the East Coast. That's Central Time, so it's 5:17. So she's probably left the office already. But that's her. She must have a shipper that's based out of Robert, Texarkana, Texas, apparently, and going west at that particular shipper. So I'm going to reach out to her. And matter of fact, let me reply to this email asking her what the commodity is also. And then we'll go from there. So, so let me see who else is in here so I can kind of structure this evening's. Okay, 225-721. I believe that's one of the ladies that I was speaking to last night, I believe. Yeah. I just can't remember which one. Area code 225. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Okay. You called and you're not on the laptop or computer. You're on the phone, right?
No, right. It won't pull up on the laptop.
It won't pull up on your laptop? Yeah, because everybody else is on the laptop. I'm sharing my screen right now and everything.
Yeah, it won't even pull up on there. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I've been having problems with it since earlier today, so I have to get it looked at.
Okay. Now, this is not Kelly. Which one, ladies?
No, this is Melody.
Okay, Melody. How are you? Okay, all right. So Melody is part.
Little girl from Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana. Melody from Louisiana. So Melody is part of. Well, I'll let you. Are you able to explain your brokerage and what you guys are doing and getting ready to do, or?
Well, I can explain a little bit about it. Our company is called Divine Divas Brokerage. We're hoping to launch our business on the 17th of this month. What our goals are to basically get drivers that already have their vehicles, find loads for them, do dispatching for them as well. And we have a few incentives that we're planning to offer the drivers, if they sign on with us.
Okay, so Global Divas Brokerage. And you guys are looking to get drivers signed up with you guys, set up, moving loads, getting shippers now. And the type of equipment pieces that you guys are looking to broker, I know you mentioned we focused on a little bit on the box trucks, but I know there were some other types as well.
Yeah.
To drive.
Yeah, we want to start out with box trucks because we actually have some people that are already interested in driving for us. They own box trucks, and we have kind of a contract in place with the company already. But we're pretty much open on the type of vehicles that we will service. But we're just starting out with the box trucks because we already have some people wanting to do loads and things for us with box trucks.
Okay, so Mike and Robert just typed in the chat a question for you. So Mike asked, do they already have loads? And then Robert asked, is there a website? So can you answer those two questions?
Hold on just a second. I can give you, we have an email. We're working on our website right now. That's one of the things that we'll actually have up in place by the 17th. I can give you our email address, and it's and our phone number, just in case you wanted to give us a call. I'm going to try and pull up the website again. I'll keep trying so that way, I can just answer them in the text, but I'm not sure.
I got Global Divas Brokerage at Gmail.
That's it.
And then the number is 833-888-DIVA.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to type that in the chat so everybody can see that. And you guys are working on shippers right now. You already have some customers lined up, but they're more on the LTL box truck equipment type.
Right.
And do they move? Like how often do those loads get out? Are they daily, weekly, so many per day? What's the velocity of
working with a guy in a warehouse right now with all of the actual details on it. We hadn't started. We're actually looking for drivers because he already has the trucks there. So we'd actually be looking for just drivers in general that don't have their vehicles already.
Okay. And where is that?
We needed about 5. That's out in Atlanta.
Okay, that's in Atlanta. Okay. Okay, so you would, you probably would put out like Indeed and Craigslist ads for LTL drivers in that area, and then go from there, and then vet those guys out, make sure that their CSA scores, driving records, all good, stuff like that.
Right.
Now, you're also interested in going after because the conversation we had last night, there's more money to be made also.
I'm sorry, did I come up? Because something else is on the screen, so I'm just checking to see if can you see me? Or
I see. Kitten just said, "Is this frozen? I cannot hear anything." Can anybody, if you can hear my voice, type yes in the chat. I know Melanie, you're on the phone, so you can hear my voice because I'm conversating with you.
Right.
So, but everybody else can.
The chat up, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mike and Robert can hear me. Toby can hear me. So everybody can hear me. Let's see, who else is in? I got 11 so far. People are coming in. Okay, I see your name on here now. So so you're on the computer too, Melanie. You dialed in and on the Okay.
Yeah, I was still trying to pull it up on the computer, but I just can't hear anything on the computer. Hold on, let me check something real quick.
Well, that's fine. You can keep your phone up and then look at the screen as I share my screen. Right?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for choosing.
Okay, there you go. So, and then you're looking to add more shippers in the bigger equipment type areas, like 53-foot dry vans, 48, 53-foot flatbeds, and 53-foot reefers, right?
Right.
And then we had a conversation on the broker side about TMS. Now, can you see my screen? You see what I'm doing on the screen?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. So on this broker 101 side, we were talking about, like, you guys already passed the requirements because you guys are a brokerage, but we were talking about, fine-tuning, getting customers, the different carrier package, booking the loads, building the loads, and the TMS system. Remember the TMS system?
Right, yeah.
So we log into my back office area here for TMS, and if the transportation management system, and there were different versions. We need to defend eFreight Solutions, Access, Aljet. There's different ones and what they do. If you set up a free version of Ascend, you'll be able to. As a matter of fact, I have Ascend TMS login. Can you see me logging in?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So, have you ever been inside of a Ascend TMS?
No.
Okay. Okay, so this is
I think that's the one that you were telling us about last night to tell us to try it.
right. So this is if you sign up for the free version, this is what you're going to see. This is the basic plan. You can upgrade to premiums. It's going to be like $49 a month, I think, or $50 or $60 a month. But the TMS system, it does everything for you from a broker bookkeeping perspective. It keeps track. Here's the main dashboard, and this just contains general data like current fuel index, like you can get the fuel prices, like on the highway diesel price $2.41 right now, and it's up a penny from last week. And then it has spot market rates, this is current rate index, national van spot market rates, $1.80 line haul with fuel surcharge, and that's up 1 penny or 3 cents. I'm sorry. Reefers is $2.14 a reefer spot market, and flatbeds is 206. So these are the current rates, right? And this is a SIN that's telling you this. So this is, yeah, Robert said thumbs up. He likes the SIN. So it's giving you, this is the main dashboard in the SIN, and it's giving you general information, things that have changed. So now over here on the left side, you can keep track of your loads. Yeah. I'm a little bit, Mike, just a little bit. I won't go into great details about inside of each one, but you can build loads. Remember I was mentioning EDI, electronic data interchange, and load tenders from the shippers? Yeah. So in a sense, this is where the integration happens between your brokerage and the shipper if you guys have a EDI connection and you pay for extra service. Your customers are the shippers from a broker's perspective. If you are a dispatcher, then your customers are going to be either direct shippers you're dealing with, and then down here you have carriers. So from a broker's, your carriers are going to be either your contracted carriers, because right here, if you have your own truck and trailers under your brokerage, then they're going to be assets because they're under your brokerage. And then you have locations, you have rates. You got something here called InstaRate where you can look up. So I'm gonna show you an example. And you got document management. You can manage your documents, reporting, accounting, all these things. And then remember I said that there was tutorials. Tutorials inside it. So if you go to learn, you have a bunch of YouTube videos that you can click, and you click the highlight things you can click and learn from. I'm not gonna go into detail, but it just shows how to study and understand that. So back here in InstaRate, so I'll just give a brief. So somebody give me a lane, somebody give me a pickup and a destination and an equipment type, one of the three major ones. Anybody can, like, give me a load picking up somewhere and delivering somewhere for whatever equipment type of these three: drive-ins, flatbeds, and reefers. Anybody?
You can say Baton Rouge.
Okay, so it automatically populates Baton Rouge.
Okay. To Atlanta, I guess.
And for what equipment type?
The reefer.
And then when you hit get rates, it's going to give you data that you'll need to help you better plan that lane for your brokerage. Okay. The line haul, the fuel surcharge. So the all-in rate is going to be the total of the two. You include the line haul plus the fuel surcharge. The all-in rate is going to be, what is that, $1.49. So, okay. And then you have ranges here.
So it just basically does everything for you. All you have to do is input the information.
Right. It's integrated. So everything's there. So that's TMS. So
right.
I'll go ahead and log out of that. Just give you a taste of that. So and let's see, I got Kitten on the other line here. I think she's trying to get in.
I got the system upstairs. Give me some kind of something I can put this stuff in here.
Hello, kids. I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear and see you, kids. How are you? Okay, so that's the freight brokerage side. Now the dispatching side, the main point from the dispatching one-on-one, and I'm speaking to Melody as well, is in our modules, you know, you can't dispatch unless you have a carrier, right? You can't. That's number one. So we focus on getting the carrier under what's called a dispatcher agreement. So the two documents that we need to get started, and there are others too, a few others. And as a broker, you'll be familiar with these when I mention them. But the two documents that we need for dispatching, being an independent freight dispatcher, are the dispatcher agreement and the profile. So what are these? The dispatcher agreement is the sort of, you know, for lack of a better word, the contract between you and the carrier, the one you're going to be dispatching for. And it's basically saying that, you know, I, carrier ABC Trucking, agrees to allow XYZ dispatching services to, you know, be my dispatcher for this particular rate, either a flat rate or a percentage, helping me find loads, helping me with the paperwork as far as the carrier packets and the rate confirmations, and managing my truck for this percentage for their service. That's pretty much, in a nutshell, what the dispatcher agreement says. Now, you can any portal, and you can use that template and kind of tweak it for your own company. So, and then the profile, the second document is the profile sheet. So here's the dispatch agreement. I'm not going to open it up right now. And the profile sheet is here. The profile sheet is basically the carrier. So if I was a carrier and you are a dispatcher, it's the carrier's way of telling you, letting you know how they want you to find their loads, where they want to go, what areas of the country they like to run in, what areas of the country they want to avoid, and there are reasons why they do that. How much they want, you know, as far as cents per mile, you know, so that varies. That varies based off of the equipment type that they have. And then how much weight are they willing to haul for their equipment type. And one of the main reasons why that is because of fuel costs. If you're going to push the maximum weight on your trailer, then you're going to be spending more in fuel costs. But if you can get decent loads and the weight on your trailer is some 2 to 3, maybe even 5,000 pounds less than the maximum weight, then you're winning there. You're winning on fuel, especially if you're going in areas where you're going to be in mountains, and you're dealing with a lot of upgrade and downgrade slopes and hills and things like that. So it's the dispatcher agreement and the profile. And then as a dispatcher, if you're going to run your dispatching company as a dispatcher, it would make sense to have other documents that you're going to need from your carrier when you talk to brokers. Because when you speak to brokers, almost every time you speak to a broker, they are asking you for certain documents that's needed in order for your carrier to get set up with that brokerage. You know, those documents are the W-9, the MC authority letter, and the certificate of insurance. And a fourth document if they have a factoring company, and that's the NOA, the notice of assignment. Are you still with me, Melanie?
I have you on mute because my son is right here.
Okay, but you're following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So those documents. So the dispatcher agreement and the profile. Now, if you're going to be dispatching for trucks that you have in your trucking company or in your brokerage, then you're going to already have those documents because they are already a part of your company. But if you are an independent freight dispatcher that's separate from the truck, the owner operator or the trucking company, then you're going to want to have those documents included in your companies. When you manage that truck as an independent dispatcher, you have all the tools you need. So when you go to brokers and negotiate rates and fill out carrier packets and rate confirmations, you'll have everything you need, and you're not chasing down a carrier for like, oh, by the way, I need a copy of your agency authority letter, or by the way, I need a certificate of insurance. And who knows where the carrier may be at that point in time? He could be driving, may not have access to it, may have to call his wife, or or whomever. So if you get these documents all ahead of time up front and keep them in some kind of filing system for that specific carrier, or carriers, if you have more than one, as you're building your business, it just makes the process a little bit more streamlined for you. So that's, and then we focus here on this platform, Dispatcher 101, on the three main equipment types that are out here prevalent: dry vans, flatbeds, and reefers. Now, you Global Divas brokerage, you guys have a niche right now with shippers and customers that need freight hauled in box trucks. So I would, of course, obviously, I would, use that right now, because you can still learn the mechanics of dispatching, with a box truck equipment type. That's not a problem whatsoever. You have the shippers already waiting for you, lined up. You just need to find the drivers. So after that, as far as dispatching, back to the dispatching basics, getting the carrier, getting the dispatch agreement and profile, getting the other documents, the MC authority, W-9, certificate of insurance. And the reason why these documents are needed, because the broker needs to set up the carrier under their brokerage. The W-9, of course, is for the EIN number, tax ID number. The MC authority letter shows that the carrier is authorized to move general freight, either in the state that they are within, which is a DOT, or interstate, which is the MC authority. And this is governed by the Department of Transportation and the FMCSA. And then the certificate of insurance shows that the carrier has the required insurance needed to run loads from a liability and a cargo perspective. Liability being $1 million, cargo being $100,000. And then, of course, NOA, if the carrier has a factoring company, they've gotten a factoring company so they can send a notice of assignment to the broker to run the credit of the broker. So now after that, then you need to understand what load boards are, because starting out as a beginner dispatcher, you are going to mainly be working with loads on the load board, which are spot market loads. So you need to understand how to navigate that. So going to the load board, searching for a load based off of your carrier's profile that they gave you on their profile sheet, match the load to that and the rate. Once you find something in agreement of that, then you call the broker, see if that load is still available. They're going to ask for your carrier's MC number or DOT number. They're going to look that up, see if that carrier is already set up with their brokerage. If not, they're going to say, okay, well, who do I need to send the setup packet to, the carrier packet to, the broker carrier agreement. Though all three of those things are the same thing: setup packet, carrier packet, broker carrier agreement. And this gets back on the broker side with you, Melanie. That's one of the packets you're going to be dealing with from a broker's perspective, is the broker carrier agreement on the broker carrier relationship. The other packet you'll be dealing with from a broker's perspective is the broker shipper packet that you send to your customer to try to get loads from. So, any questions so far? No questions? Someone is unmuted asking a question. Miss Trudy. Okay.
No, I'm following.
Okay. I saw Kitten. I'm trying to see if Kitten, I can communicate with Kitten. I think she's having communication issues right now. But I will. Miss Kitten, can you? I see you jumping in and out, but can you hear me, or do you have a question? Okay. So now the load board. So once you get a carrier under an agreement, then you go to the load board and you find. So here's an example of a load board. Which one do you guys want me to show an example of? Internet truck stop 1, 2, 3. Let's do 1, 2, 3 because someone. Go ahead. Somebody said something. I thought someone had a question. So internet truck stop 1, 2, 3. DAT Trucker's Edge. Yep, I figured Robert you were going to say 1, 2, 3 because that's the one that has the best backhaul features as well. So let's go to 1, 2, 3 load board, and as Melody is still on this call, Melody, have you navigated 1, 2, 3 load board?
No, we hadn't navigated anything yet.
Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3 load board. We'll log in, and the reason why Robert selected this one because this is a good load board that. And this is a carrier level login. It's not the premium, I don't believe. It's just the carrier level login right here. You got carriers. You have broker/shipper. You switch that to broker/shipper. I don't have the broker/shipper subscription. Even though I can switch it, it's not going to allow me to have the features of it. So I can find, if I want to find trucks, I can't because I don't have that. So I'm going to switch back to the carrier version and you got find loads availability. You can plan loads. So once you master or get an idea of these features, it'll make your dispatching, your brokering experience a little bit more better. Rate checks, profit calendar, documents. So that in every load board, you have a lot of features to deal with. The main one that you're going to be dealing with as a dispatcher will be, of course, finding loads, load availability. You check to see where loads are, and then load planner. So let's do load availability before we find a single load. Let's see what states are load heavy. So we're going to click load availability. And if you notice, it's grouped alphabetically by states, right? And the states that are heavy, like Alabama, you have outbound, intrastate, and inbound. So what this means is outbounds, loads that are leaving Alabama. That's 3,541 loads leaving Alabama. So for instance, let's say you had a load that you picked up in the Midwest somewhere and it was going to Alabama. Your chances of getting the load out of Alabama seems to be good because there's 3,500 loads. Now you got to click on this and see what equipment type that you have to determine if you can get a load out there, but the likelihood of you finding one, because there's so many of them, as opposed to like Alaska, one outbound load, but not a lot of people go to Alaska apparently. So, but so outbound, there's a lot of loads leaving out of Alabama, and then intrastate. What that means for those who don't know is only owner operators who have a DOT number, which means that you can only run within that particular state that you are registered in, that you reside in. So for those carriers who live in Alabama and have an intrastate authority, DOT, there's 283 loads. And then inbound loads coming into Alabama, there are 751. So this is how you look at that. So now I'm clicking on that specific one, and this is what I get. So I get outbound intrastate. So now you get to see that. And now if you want to click on a specific one, you'll click on that, and it goes into more detail about that particular one that you clicked on. Okay? So you get to see numbers here and things like that. So if I want an outbound load from somewhere in Alabama, that Muscle shows this was going to the Midwest, Elkhart, Indiana is 48. It's a flatbed load. It's TL stands for truckload, so it's a full truckload. It's a new load. It just got posted a minute ago. Here's the company, Hicks Company Incorporated. It's a new load posted a minute ago. It's 48,000 pounds of flatbed truckload, and it's going 571 miles. So now you see that there. It's paying $1,182.06, which equates to $2.07 a mile. So now, and then you got some extra features here. You can call that broker. You can check backhauls because there's 85 possible backhaul loads. So you click that down, and now you go into that detail. So what type of backhauls will you want? You got 75 backhauls leaving out of Elkhart, Indiana, which is where you're going to end up with this load going anywhere. Or do you want a load coming out of Elkhart going back to Alabama? There are 0 loads there, but you got loads coming out of Elkhart, which is 75. So that's kind of how you read this. So if you select, let's select Georgia because everybody's talking about Georgia, like Atlanta and things like that. So let's X out of this. Let's go down to Georgia. Georgia seems to be freight heavy. So there you go. You got 210 outbound. You got 300. You got 2,110 outbound. You got 310 intrastate, and then you got 1,458 coming into Georgia. So Georgia seems to be a hub. So does Illinois. So if you look at this load availability from a dispatcher's perspective, you can kind of strategically load plan your carrier based off of the freight heavy states, and you can send them in like either a triangular pattern or maybe a square pattern depending on the freight. So I can send a carrier to Georgia and then up to the Midwest, Illinois, maybe Ohio, even Texas. Texas I hear is a freight heavy, so let's go down to Texas. And yes, it is. You got 2,332 outbound loads, Texas, 878 intrastate, which is a lot, and then 3,101 coming into Texas. So, I mean, you could either run back and forth between Georgia and Texas conceivably also because those are freight-heavy states. So as a dispatcher, it would make sense to get you an equipment type in a freight-heavy state and then run that equipment type back and forth between freight-heavy states, either 2 of them or 3 of them in a triangular pattern. So let me open up a map here and give you an idea of freight-heavy states. So we know Georgia's 1, Texas is 1, and we saw Illinois. So that's a triangular pattern right there. So if I go down to my map, and for those of you who can see the screen, and let me enlarge this just a little bit. So Illinois, Georgia, and Texas. So if you go back and forth like that, keep your guy running, you shouldn't have a problem, especially if those states are heavy with a lot of freight coming in and going out of it. So, and then that's how you dispatch without worrying about sending a carrier to a state that you're going to have trouble getting them out of, right? So it wouldn't be wise to send them to a state like, South Dakota for a specific equipment type, for a flatbed or a dry van or a reefer, because they can't get out of it based off of what you see on this load availability matrix right here. So as a dispatcher, you would go through this and just as a gauge to determine what states you're going to choose to focus on. Number 1, finding a carrier that lives in that state, and then number 2, keeping them running back and forth between either 2 states or 3 states. So, and then that's how you effectively load plan for your carriers and keep them running and manage. That's what dispatchers do. You manage those carriers. You manage that company and you manage those carriers. And by doing that, keeping them running consistently, you're getting paid for this service and you're constantly keeping them running. And guess what? You could potentially have dedicated lanes eventually, because as you move loads with those brokers back and forth, they're going to always call you over and over again for that same carrier, especially if that carrier runs those loads successfully. Brokers want carriers who run loads successfully because you're making money for the broker as well. And the broker is looking good in the eyes of their customers, who are the shippers. So it's a win-win-win relationship if you think about it. So does anybody have any questions about this load planning feature?
No.
Let's go into one real quick. Texas, and Texas is pretty large. So, and let's focus on one equipment type: drive-in, flatbed, or reefer. Right. So if you look at this, TQL is dominating this. Look at all this TQLs, right? TQL loads. They're light loads, 5,000 pounds. So, okay, she said she don't see Philly on there. So Kitten said she don't see Philly. So let's go to Pennsylvania. Here's Pennsylvania, Kitten. Pennsylvania has 906 outbound, 217 intrastate, which means that they can only run within the state of Pennsylvania, and then 1,844 inbound. That means that loads are coming into Pennsylvania. So if we click that, now we're looking at outbound, intrastate. In other words, Pennsylvania to Pennsylvania within the state. So you're only running it within the state of Pennsylvania. That's what intrastate means. So here's one for Philly, Allentown, Pennsylvania to Philly. Here's the broker. Here's the equipment type. So let's click that, get some details about it. So that load is $403.27. It's only going 63 miles. So that's paying $6.40 a mile. It's either a van or a reefer trailer. It's hauling 45,355 pounds, 53-foot trailer, and it's a truckload. TL stands for truckload. So that's a short. It's a short run, 63 miles at 403. Say you do that back and forth 4 times a day. That's $1,200 a day running. What's 4 times 63, 200 something miles. That's still a good rate. You follow that, Kitten? Or if you're looking for a carrier to come from Pennsylvania out, yeah, and if you can scale that, so Mike made a good point. If you can scale that, so 45, actually that's over. Yeah, you might have to, because typically the van and reefer trailers is about 45,000 pounds topped off. So if you fill your tank up with fuel and load up, and you hit a scale, you're gonna probably not scale that. You're gonna probably be over. So that's a good point on that one, Mike. You got to be careful with scaling that. So, Kitten, Miss Kitten, with Pennsylvania, if you're considering are you considering having a owner operator that you're going to dispatch for that's going to stay within the state of Pennsylvania, or do you want someone that's going to be going all over the country, out of Pennsylvania, back and forth, or what have you? That would be a question that you can consider as well. So this is intrastate, just within the state of Pennsylvania. Let's go to my state. So right here, here's Virginia, and outbound and intrastate. So Okay, so you got, she says, so you want a carrier to stay within Philly. So they're just going to have, if they're going to stay within Philly, that means that they're just going to have a DOT and not an MC authority. So they don't run outside of the state of Pennsylvania. So they're just going to be intrastate. So these are the loads that you will be looking at to run in the state of, right now anyway. This changes, daily, because brokers post loads and take loads down as they get booked. So it changes daily, but this gives you an idea. And if you see a city that shows up a lot, like this Bristol, Pennsylvania, chances are there's a distribution center in that location, or Allentown, or Philly, or Johnstown. If you see it show up a lot, Carlisle, see Carlisle showing up a lot, chances are there may be a distribution center in that location. Here's Bristol again. So chances are there may be some kind of distribution center or warehouse, a large facility in that area. So, yeah, Robert said, and as a dispatcher, do not tell your carrier to go around the scale. Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do. One of the worst things. Expound on that, Robert, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so what happened, hey, how you doing? So one thing happened, a dispatcher, a company I used to work for, told a driver to go around the scale because they were overweight or whatever. And the driver pulls them to the scale and goes behind the scale house itself and then gets back on the highway.
Wow.
Yeah, the DOT jumped in his car and came out there and smacked him pretty good,
Yeah. Yes, you can get put out of service. You can get a level 1, level 3 inspection, and it's over.
All right, I got to go back. Mute.
Okay. Yeah, Melody asks, isn't there a fine for that? Yeah, you can get fined for it, and you can also get put out of service. That truck would not be able to move. Somebody would have to come get that carrier, or he'll have to call somebody. That truck will stay still, because if you're overweight and if you got other violations, depends on the level, type of inspection that's given to you. They may just do basic, like a little basic pre-trip, or or it may scale up to like a level 1 or a level 3 inspection, where the DOT officers who are sitting at the weigh stations waiting for potential violators of DOT and FMCSA regulations to come through. Then they'll catch them and then pull them to the side, like Robert said, and then just do a more thorough. Because if you try to be slick, like in the example Robert just said, the guy went around the scale. Don't you think that they're not watching you? You got a big tractor trailer, and you go around the scale house and then pull back on the interstate. And you got a DOT officer right there. Do you not think that person was going to pull you over? So now the radars, the antennas just went up. So now you're going to get a thorough inspection, and he's pretty much looking for things to put you out of service. So because you gave that person the ammunition. So if you're going to dispatch for owner-operators, eventually you want to get to the point where you educate yourself and let them know that. And that's another thing, too. It goes back to the point of the carrier profile, the dispatcher agreement and the profile, where the carrier tells you how much weight that they're willing to pull. That's why most carriers, too, that's another reason why most carriers will tell you they don't want to haul their maximum weight. So if you got a flatbed that's 46 to 48,000 pounds, carrier may say, I'm not doing no more than 42, maybe 43 tops. So he puts that in the profile. So if you find him a load that's 42, 43, you don't have to worry about them being overweight, because their max is 46, 48. So that's some 5,000 pounds more. So that's another reason, as a dispatcher, you want to pay attention to the profile and see. Now, if you got a carrier that says they'll haul maximum weight, now you got to pay a little extra attention to loads that you find for them. If that were me and I had a carrier that says I'll haul the max weight, I'll be cool with that. Okay, I'm good. But I'm going to be looking for loads that's probably less than that because I don't want them to. Kitten says, what's the max weight? The maximum weight on the trailer of the so let me give you a visual if you can see my screen. Let me give you a visual. Give me 1 second. Let me go to images. So if I go to images.google.com, so images.google.com, and then I type in truck and trailer, and I get an image of a truck and trailer, right? So here we go. Here's one right here. If it can blow, I can blow it up. So if you can see this, can you see that, Miss Kitten? Okay, so this is a tractor trailer. Tractor, which is the truck that's driving, and this is the trailer. This is actually a reefer trailer because this is a TCU right here attached, a temperature control unit. So this is a reefer, or a reefer is another name for a refrigerated trailer. The reason why it's refrigerated because what's being hauled in the trailer is staying cool to a certain temperature according to the agreement between the owner-operator and the broker. It's a pre-cooled temperature that's set in the carrier packet and in the rate confirmation. But the point here is the trailers for dry van and reefer refrigerated trailers, the max that they can haul is about 45,000 pounds on this trailer. So when I say max weight for a specific equipment type, and you'll learn this as you go, the three major equipment types are the dry vans, flatbeds, and reefer, right? And this reefer trailers, the reefer trailers and the dry vans can haul about 45,000 pounds. The flatbeds is about 46 to 48,000 pounds, max. Okay? Okay, so on the load board, if you're going to have, now, Ms. Kitten, what equipment type or what owner-operator are you trying to focus on if you're going to start off as a dispatcher? Now, remember, the reason why I try to get you guys to focus on the three major equipment types, dry van, flatbeds, and reefers, is because those are the ones that are out here that you can find loads for the easiest. So let's go to carrier acquisition and show you those. So here's a dry van trailer. That's what that looks like. Here's a refrigerated trailer, and there's a flatbed trailer. So the trailer and the tractor is what pulls the trailer. And the tractor and the trailer combined makes up what we call the equipment type. So this is a flatbed equipment type because it has a flatbed trailer attached or coupled to the tractor. This is a dry van equipment type because it has a dry van trailer attached to the tractor. You follow? And this is if a tractor was attached to this reefer trailer, this would be a reefer equipment type. But as it stands right now, this is just a reefer trailer. There's no tractor attached to it, like this one or this one. Just want to make sure you guys get that. So, again, the question I asked to Ms. Kitten is, of the three major equipment types, dry vans, reefers, and flatbeds, which one are you considering starting out with and trying to find carriers for the dispatch? Or you may already know someone who has one of these equipment types. I don't know. Okay, so dry van. So you think dry van. So if we go back up to the Philly and enter, so you want to look for a dry van intrastate, only in the state of Pennsylvania for a drive-in equipment type. So here's one van. This is van or reefer. So you got it right there. So if we get out of load availability and go back to the dashboard and select, let's find a load. We can even plan our loads. You can plan loads for your carriers. You can go there and plan it. But let's go to the dashboard and find the load. So let's stick with Miss Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and a van, and let's say it's going, we'll say, not anywhere. You got 3 tabs. You got, okay, you can start, a load can pick up in the city and state, or you can just map whatever state you want something in. So we can say, let's do that. Let's map in the state of Pennsylvania for a dry van and staying in the state of Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania to Pennsylvania, which means intrastate for a van, and I'll leave, and let's say the weight, I'll just leave all this blank, even the pickup days, and let's see what loads we find for a dry van. So we got 95 loads as a result, right? And all of it is dry van because we selected, if you go back to edit, we only selected the dry van. You could select the others if you were looking for other equipment types. But Miss Kitten was saying she wants to focus on dry van only in the state of Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania to Pennsylvania for a dry van, hit search. That's the result set, 95. So I'm going to put it in order. If I click offer, it's going to show ones that have rates first, and then the other ones are blank. Just because you see blank for not having a rate for the load showing how much it's paying, you can still call the broker and negotiate. So this top one is going from Leetsdale, Pennsylvania to Hazleton Ship, Pennsylvania. It's paying, it's 30,000 pounds. It's going 266 loaded miles. Coyote Logistics is the broker, and it's paying $700. So when we click this anywhere in here, it's going to open up and give you more details about that specific load. That load is $2.63 a mile for that lane, Leetsdale to Hazleton, Pennsylvania. The beauty of this is we have a tab in here that's called backhauls. So what backhauls is something to get you out of where you're going to deliver this load, either back to where you started from or somewhere else, either in another state or in the same state. That's what a backhaul is, getting you out of where you're delivering to or back to where you started from. Another load, I'm saying, another load. So in this example, is 821 backhauls. So let's say, for example, that seems like a good rate, $700 for 266 loaded miles. So you might say, okay, 266 miles, I could probably do that twice in a day, right? 266, come back, do it again, 266. So I may want to drop that first load in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, and then go back to Leetsdale, pick up another same load and do it again. So I would, if that's the case, then I would go to backhauls tab and say, okay, I want to see a load coming out of where I'm dropping off, Hazleton Ship, Pennsylvania, and going exactly back to Leetsdale to pick up another load. So if that's the case, that first line, then there's 57 of those backhauls leaving out of where you're delivering, going back to the same place. If that's not the case, you have other options here. Hazleton going back into the state of Pennsylvania, there's 105 of them. And I think those are the only two that Miss Kitten probably had the option of because she only has an intrastate carrier. She couldn't say Hazleton to anywhere because she got to stay within Pennsylvania. So she can only select the first two. Or she could select the third one, Pennsylvania to Pennsylvania too. So, but let's say she wanted to go back because $700, she want to make $1,400 in a day. So if you do that load twice, that's $1,400. You can do 2 runs, 266 in a day. You can run that twice and make $1,400 that day. So if we click 57, I'm going to open up another tab and see what the backhaul loads are. Here. It's got a, let's see, did it miss Hazel Township, Pennsylvania, right? So it's Hazel Township, Pennsylvania. Maybe the words is combined. Let's see if that's the case, because it's not showing. Let's Google that. What's the correct spelling of it? Is it one word or two words? Hazel. Is it Hazelton or Hazel Township? Yeah, Hazel Township, Pennsylvania. Okay, so there it is. So why is it not recognizing it right here? Because it's here, Hazel Township, Pennsylvania, but the backhaul is Hazel Township. Let me split that back up. Hazel space Township, Pennsylvania. Interesting. Okay, Mike. I'll do Hazelton. There we go. Okay, so now Hazelton, Pennsylvania, back to Leesdale. So there we go. Okay, Mike, thanks. And let's see what the highest one is. So going back, so now Hazelton, you're not picking up exactly, but you got a 150-mile radius. So if you go up to Jersey, 80 miles up over to Jersey, you can pick up a load going exactly back to where you started from for $700, and it's 351 miles. It's only 13,000 pounds. That's a light load. You only got to drive 80-mile deadhead, and you're going back at $1.97. That's not bad, and that's still within for a drive. That's still within the market rate for a drive-in these days, about $1.85 to about $2.10. So you're still within that range, and you're making. So you got 700 coming out, Leesdale to Hazelton, Pennsylvania, 700 going out. So let's bring the calculator up, and this is one day, right? 700 going out, and you're only in the state of Pennsylvania. And then you get a backhaul, 700 going back. So you're going 266 miles out to the destination, and then 356 miles back, because you went 80-mile deadhead, so you had to do 356 miles back. So that's about 600 miles, and then you may have time to pick up another load out of Leesdale again to go back to Hazelton, but you may have to reset, but at least you got that load, so you would add another 700 to that amount. So that's 2,100. So, and there's other strategies. Now this is just a scenario for Miss Kitten, because she has a drive-in carrier that she's dispatching for, and they only want to run in the state of Pennsylvania, and so they can run short distances. Sometimes short distance loads pay a decent cent per mile rate, and you're only going a short distance. You can do that maybe twice, 3 times at the most, possibly, without having to first shut down your truck and do a reset, because you're at your hours, you know. So, any questions so far? How about if it's a Bosch truck? So, if it's a Bosch truck and it's only in the state of Pennsylvania, or is it the same scenario, only in the state of Pennsylvania? Ms. Kitten, is it only the box truck example? Is it only for the state of Pennsylvania? If it is, then what you would do is in your search criteria, you would change the dimensions. So let's go back and edit. You would change the dimensions to suit the size of the box truck. You can either do specialized. Let's see. Let's hide this. Vans, you can put show specifics. So we're gonna deselect everything and then choose lift gate. That's a box truck. We can say hot shot, a van. Hot shot is considered a box truck. They have E-tracks on them, but and then we can say the weight. A box truck can haul about 10,000 pounds. Let's say 9,500 just to be safe, and the length of a box truck goes up to about 26 feet. So if you choose, so now you got to choose specifics to match the criteria of the box truck specs. Okay, that's how you on this load board. So if we try to do that, it doesn't show anything. But let's go to another load board, Internet Truck Stop, and see what we find. Now, let's go back to 1, 2, 3 and edit this, and let's change the destination, not Pennsylvania to Pennsylvania, but let's change this to anywhere. So a box truck coming out of Pennsylvania going anywhere, right? And so we got one. What city? So Robert asked Miss Kitten, what city or township? Where's your carrier based at? Where do they live? Are they in like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with a box truck, Miss Kitten? And let's see. Okay, so she has a box truck carrier in Philly, and they don't want to go outside of Pennsylvania. So if I were you in that situation, they want to stay within the city limits or even the state, I would look to LTL companies, direct companies, to try to move like light no-touch freight furniture, things like that, as opposed to, or there are load boards that you can, LTL or partials. There are load boards that you can focus on that specialize in LTL partials and box truck loads, namely My Virtual Fleet and Selectus. So if My Virtual Fleet is this one that caters to LTL freight. So I can put a copy of that here in the chat box. And then the other one, which is the better of the two, but it has some red tape as far as getting set up with them, is Selectus. So Selectus is specialized, and the company called Omnitrax bought out Selectus, so they have an internalized TMS system, but this Selectus is for box trucks. Yeah, you might want to look into investing or partnering with someone who can get access to Selectus, because you'll find box truck loads there. So let's go to here, new search, and this load board here is Internet Truck Stop. So like I was telling Miss Melanie and the ladies last night, there's a few load boards that I access myself on this platform. 1, 2, 3, select this. I mean, not Select, I'm sorry, 123, Internet Truck Stop, DAT, Trucker's Edge, and Truckloads, Trucker's Path. So following Miss Kitten's theme, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and let's say 100-mile radius, and here, right here on the equipment type, she wants that person to run only in the state of Pennsylvania. So we're going to say Pennsylvania, state, not city, but. And then the equipment type, we're going to select probably a straight box or a straight van. You can say straight van or a cargo van, Sprinter. You can select that. See, in internet, you got straight van, you got cargo, small, Sprinter van, straight van. I think you have box truck in here too, but let me go down just to be sure. But you get more features and you get more specific within the equipment types. So if I said straight van and then I changed the size to 26 feet, then yeah, that's a good point. Robert said, Ms. Kitten, look for a broker in your area, that specializes in even hot shot. So van hot shot category. So let's select. So I'm gonna start from the top and go down and then click control as I go. So no driveaways. So we'll say that. And what else? Hot shots. We can say straight van. We can say cargo. I'm gonna put a comma there. Let's go back. Straight van. Put a comma there. If there's others, and I think that's it. But straight van, flatbed. I think that's it. Van with liftgate. Let's do that. Van with liftgate, because box truck, and then let's go from there. Okay. So let's see. I got some messages here, some statements in the chat. Okay, you're not going in select this without. Yeah, without a 20 truck minimum. They said when I called them, they said you got to have five carriers under your company, verifiable. So yeah, Mike, you are correct. Oh, you can only have 3 equipment types. Okay, so let's choose van liftgate. Let's take away the cargo one, and let's take away the hot shot one. Let's put the van liftgate back. Let's take away the hot shot one. Oh, it says you can have 3. Okay, so we got hot shot, straight van, van liftgate, and I thought I said hot shot also. So let me put a comma here and select hot shot and see what pops. Okay, so we got 9 that popped up, right? And 450 down. So understanding how to navigate the load boards to find your specific equipment type is key. So I got 9 loads out of Philly and going anywhere within Pennsylvania. So here's one that's paying $450. It's going 111 miles. So $450 at 111 miles is $4.05 per mile. It's a hot shot. It's a partial, 22 feet in length and 7,500 pounds. So that can go in the box truck too, because the box truck is 26 feet and up to 10,000 pounds. So now the question becomes, what is the commodity? Is it wide enough, or it's a partial? So now you got to get these questions answered, because you got a 400 Swedesboro, New Jersey, which is not far from Philly, right? It's about 19 miles from Philly. We go into the details. It's a hot shot load. It's a partial. It's 22 feet long. We don't know the width. We don't know the height. So is it something that can go on a flatbed, or can it go in a box truck? Right. So now Robert said, book it. So, and it's going to Hazel Township, Pennsylvania, that other area. So there you go. So you got 9 loads here that are hot shot partials that are like, here's one 1,000 pounds, 1,000 pounds. Now these are under a decent amount, like the cents per mile. The only good is the one that's in red, the one I highlighted, $450 going 111 miles. So now the question becomes, you would have to call that broker and see if it's a hot shot, but do they want it on a hot shot trailer, or can it fit in a box truck? Because you got a 26-foot. Well, I don't know, Miss Kitten, if you're does your box truck carrier, is his box truck 24 foot, 16 foot, or 26 feet? It's 24, so he's 2 feet over, so that's cool. You cannot haul more than 10,000 pounds with a box truck. So the GVWR, or the gross vehicle weight rating, is 2601. If you go over that, then you're over. So your trailer, so in the trailer you can haul about 9,900, about 10,000 pounds. So if you scale this 1 pound over, then you're going to be out of service. So, but there's one right there for you, Miss Kitten. Yeah, you got CDL box trucks as well as non-CDL box trucks. But yeah, here's one. So we would have to call that broker. You know what? It says offline, but here's a number here. Let me call this. Let's get some details real quick and see if we can catch this person today. Because even it may be gone already, but I want to see, because it was picking up today, like the first. So let me call 540-300. Okay, put him on speaker, 205. Alabama. So he's probably not gonna pick up. Okay, it rang and then it hung up. So he's probably like off work, because it's like 7:30. So he's probably like, I'm not working. So I texted the number. I said, looking at load. I'm going to say, quick question. Any timestamp? No, I don't see any, Robert. So yeah, so when you call, so that's another thing with booking loads too with brokers. If you're looking on load boards and the load details of the posted load doesn't have enough information for you to give to your carrier so they can make an informed decision, this is also where you would ask those types of questions to the broker, because like Robert made a good point, no timestamps. So when is the pickup time? When is the delivery date and time? These are questions you need to know, because maybe your carrier is already under a load and he's looking for his next load, but you don't want any type of overlap, you know, where your carrier can't pick that load up in time because he hasn't fully delivered the load that he's currently under. So that's you know, that's something that you have to take in consideration as a dispatcher. If this broker would have called me back, I would have asked, you know, since it's 22 feet in length and it's 7,500 pounds, and I have I'm sorry, that type of timestamp. Yeah, it's 9 hours old. Yeah, so it could be that this load is already gone. So 9 hours ago today, it was supposed to pick up. So 9 hours ago. So yeah, that was like late this morning around like noon time, 11 a.m. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about 9 o'clock this morning, 10 o'clock this morning. So that's another thing too. I'm glad you made that point. Good catch, Robert. So when you're looking on the load boards too, you want to check the age of the posted load. So the longer that it's up there, the possibility that the load may have already be gone and the broker just forgot to take it down, or no one really wants that load because they don't think it's a good paying load. That's why it's still sitting on the load board. So these are some of the things that you consider too, the age of the load. So. Any questions? So is this, okay, so is Amazon good to work with a box truck or UPS? Amazon has a lot of red tape for getting box truck loads. I'm not even sure if Amazon Relay has box truck loads on their app. And then UPS, you pretty much, I don't think UPS does independent contracting. They got their own trucks. So Mike says that Amazon does have LTL freight on their app, Amazon Relay. So if you go to relay.amazon.com, so let's do that. I think that's the site. Relay.amazon.com. So Amazon Relay, so you would get the app, download it to your phone, and then for the drivers, there may be Amazon Relay enables carriers to tap into our network technology and say, so you get started and then you just go through the process. So here's the requirements of getting, so if you were curious, the requirements of getting set up with Amazon Relay. So you need million liability, cargo 100,000, so on and so forth. Let's see. I seen that they were paying $38. $38 what, per hour? Or let me copy and paste this link in case those who are interested in looking at the Amazon Relay portion. Yeah. So the $38 an hour, what would that include? That would be a good question. Are you touching that freight? Obviously, you are touching that freight. If you're going to be in a box truck, you're probably delivering to you're probably doing B2C and B2B deliveries, business to consumer and business to business deliveries with Amazon Relay. If you're going to be in a box truck, I can't imagine you delivering just straight from warehouse to warehouse with the box truck. Now, if you had a tractor trailer, and if you had a tractor, you're probably picking up Amazon trailers and going DC to DC or different warehouses. But I'm assuming with a box truck, you're probably going to be doing like commercial and residentials. Yeah, and lift gate, pallet jacks, hand trucks, straps, things like that. So yeah, that's probably all required if it's in the box truck. So Mike already has that information. So. Okay. Let's see what I was ready to do. So that's that. So yeah. So if you have a carrier, a box truck carrier, Right. That's a good one. Appliance delivery with box truck is labor intensive, but they pay like I know a company in my area is paying, well, two companies. They're paying like one's paying $600 a day and the other one's paying $700 a day, and they're working 5 to 6 days a week. One of them is you move people from one location, like they're moving out of a house to another house. They've already packed their stuff up in boxes. You're just picking up the stuff, putting it in the box truck, and then moving it to the other house, offloading. You may do 2 to 3 moves a day at the most, and you get $700 for that day. The other one is more like a route. You're running routes. You're delivering general freight, maybe TVs, treadmills, things like that. So it's more of a cartage division of box truck services. So if you get a box truck yourself and you hire a team, then you would do that. Yeah. So what do you think, Ms. Kitten? Is this something that you will be interested in doing, like dispatching? Now, you may consider, like, you may start off dispatching for the box truck just to get the mechanics down of how to dispatch as far as dealing with carriers, dealing with the carrier packet, talking to brokers and things like that. And then you may want to scale up your business and start dealing with the larger equipment types like the dry vans, flatbeds, and reefers. So is this something that you will be interested in pursuing, the dispatching side as opposed to the freight broker side? Okay. Now that box truck carrier, is that a carrier that's willing? Is this someone you know? Is this someone that's willing to have you dispatch for them? Or do you already have like a relationship with them, like you know them, they may be a family friend or someone that you know, relative, what have you? And also, too, I don't want to forget Miss, okay, your cousin. Okay, so you have a relative. Oh, Robert saying that. Robert saying, Miss Kid says a family member, and then Robert saying you have a cousin that has a box truck in your area. Okay, what area is that, Robert? Like the Norfolk area?
No, it's not too far from you. Not too far from you, man. He's like, he gave me the name of the town, but I know it's close. I was mentioning that I knew somebody in the area. He's saying that's like
so we got Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Suffolk, Hampton, Newport News, Richmond.
I'll look it up right quick. I can get back in about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the Norfolk area, Miss Kitten. That's right. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Suffolk, Newport News, Hampton, Richmond, stuff like that. So, speaking of which, let's look up a load, the same requirements, and let's just change the specs on this one to Norfolk, Virginia, and leave the same specs as far as the LTL and stuff like that, and anyway, 100-mile radius. So now it shows 29 for mine. Chesapeake.
Charles.
Yes.
Portsmouth? Portsmouth? What is it?
Yeah, Portsmouth. That's my backyard.
Yeah, I got a cousin live over there.
And he does. He's. What are they paying him a day? Like he's getting $700 a day to move mattresses, or?
Yeah, I think he goes like 3 times a week or so, or twice a week. But he works for the post office. He works for the post office over there right now. You know, he's up in the mountains delivering. I forget exactly where his route is, but he runs an 18-wheeler, you know, for the post office. His box truck or the side business that he picks up mattresses for a furniture store.
Yeah, send me his information. I'm gonna link up with him.
Yep. All right.
Okay, Ms. King said she has drivers. You have family in Norfolk with their own trucks. So how would I find drivers if I became a dispatcher with their own trucks? So I mean, so you want to know how you find you know you can find drivers either by doing a search for drivers on the load boards. You can go to the local truck stops in your area to talk to drivers. There are on we use 2 load boards to find drivers, do search for drivers in the area. One is a truck search feature on Truckers Path, and then the other is what's called DAT directory on the DAT Truckers Edge load board. So those are the 2 main ones we use. And then the third option, which is the number 1 option, if you have a truck stop that's in your area, which I'm sure you do in Philadelphia or on the local interstates, you got probably a Love's, a Flying J's, a Pilot, TA, these different truck stops that you can go to and just strike up a conversation with the owner ops. And there you have it. And you can say, I'm an independent dispatcher. I can keep you running. Depends on how you present yourself to the people, and then go from there. So here's one here that's coming out of Chesapeake, going to Raleigh, North Carolina, 186 miles, 10,000 pounds. That probably can go in a box truck, and it's paying $400. So we would open up this, and £10,000. So can I go? Okay, so no tarp, 40 feet. So it's 40 feet long, and it's 10,000 pounds. So that's a hot shot. That's a hot shot load right there. 40 feet long. So no tarp. You don't need tarp it. It's a hot shot. It goes on a 40-foot trailer and a dually pickup truck. I think Miss Melody, if you're still on, I think we talked about that last night. You know, one of the ladies asked what was a hot shot, and I think that's what that is there. So, Miss Melody, you still with me? I think you're on mute. You're just listening right now. Okay. Do you have any questions? Or anyone for that matter have any questions? Because I'm getting ready to wind down a little bit here. Okay, good. So you basically get the dispatching idea, get a carrier under a dispatcher agreement, find them a load according to their profile, book that load with the broker, keep that carrier running, keep that carrier in areas where the freight is heavy. Remember looking at 1, 2, 3 load board, we saw the load availability of different states, inbound, outbound freight, as well as intrastate freight if you want to run within that particular state. Focus on coordinating different states that are freight heavy to keep your carrier running between those states. That way you increase the likelihood of getting loads into and out of those areas. Try not to send your carriers to dead zones, areas where freight is not as heavy and the likelihood of you finding a load is not good. So these are all things put together will make up a good dispatcher. That's how you become a good dispatcher, knowing the different techniques to put together to keep that carrier running and keep that carrier happy, always under load. The carrier should not have to worry about their next load. That's the whole purpose of having a dispatcher. So just as the carrier's under one load, you the dispatcher is finding their next load, and you're doing that over and over again. So yeah, it's just gonna take some practice. Yeah, I bumped my head a few times, but then once you get the pattern down, you're gonna have, trust me, you're gonna have that aha moment. You're gonna have, it's gonna come maybe, I would say it took me 90 days to have that aha moment. So yeah, dispatching for the police is different. That's a different dispatcher. You're probably on a particular band on the radio on a certain frequency tuning in, and then you're looking for certain calls, things like that. So that's a different type of dispatching, sending police to locations of where crimes are happening or things are going on. So that's a different type of dispatching. This here is a different beast. So any questions from anyone? All right, and then Kitten, I think Kitten, so Kitten, you got everything you need so far, or a preliminary start here, an understanding of what it would be like, the concept of dispatching, and then, of course, it'll come over time. It'll grow, and the knowledge will expand as you pick up on more and more things. And as you do it over and over again, you'll become versed in it. So, but that comes in time, just like with anything. It comes in time. It's like riding a bike. So, just don't worry too much about it. It'll happen. And then, if you enroll in this training platform, it's an ongoing training, subscription-based training platform. We provide the tools and resources and the support and the private social media groups to assist you. So yeah. Okay, Melody, I look forward to that. And then you can let the other ladies know, give them a little bit of an idea of what we talk about, what we do, and sharing the screen, showing the navigation of the load boards. I didn't get a chance to call carriers live, so you can actually hear me myself speak to a carrier to convince them to sign a dispatcher agreement with me. You may get that the next time, and the reason why I do that is because my philosophy is, what better way to train you to be a dispatcher than to show you exactly what it is that you'll be doing yourself. So I can, you can take the phrases and the jargon that I use when I talk to carriers and then tweak it for your specific independent dispatching company and go from there. So, all right, everybody. The next live training, I do trainings twice a week, unless I cancel them, but I do twice a week. Normally Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, July 11th and 12th, I'm going to have. I'm putting on a seminar. The 12th, that Saturday, is the Dispatcher One-on-One seminar, and people can register. I'm going to put some registration on PayPal, and then that Sunday is going to be the Broker One-on-One seminar for those who are not enrolled into the platform but want some information about that. There is a cost to that seminar, so there's $99 for the dispatcher and then $125 for the freight broker. But you're going to get, each seminar is going to be 2 to 3 hours, and it's going to be an outline of everything that we do from a dispatching and from a freight brokering side. So those who are already enrolled, let me make this disclaimer as well. Those who are already enrolled and want to attend the seminar, just let me know, and I'll just include you in the calls, basically either through Zoom or a free conference call. So, Mr. Wells said, what is the job of a broker agent? Do they go out and find? Yes, broker agents do the administrative work for the broker. They are using the broker's authority, and then they're finding shippers, getting them set up under the brokers and their broker authority, and getting paid a commission to do so. based off of the experience of the broker agent, that commission split, like if you come in brand new with no book of business, no customers, no shippers, the commission split is usually 50-50, or sometimes the standard is 60-40 if you have 1 or 2 shippers. And then as you grow, as the agent grow and bringing on shippers, let's say you got 10 shippers now after a year, then of course your commission will grow 70-30, 80-20. I've seen even 90-10. I knew a guy who was 90-10 because he had 50 shippers under this brokerage. So there you go. Yeah, Mike, it's an online live seminar, and it's just because I get a lot of feedback on the social media groups asking about joining Dispatcher 101 or Freight Broker 101 Facebook groups, and then they ask questions about what is this and what is that, but they've not enrolled. So I'm going to give a seminar. For those who don't want to pay the enrollment, I'll just charge a small price for a 2 or 3 hour one-day training and give them an overview and then see if they like it for that cost. And if they want to enroll in the ongoing platform that we're on now, the Freight Broker 101 or the Dispatcher 101, then they can enroll later on. But, you know, that small investment there will give them a lot of information to make that determination. Oh, okay, I see, I get you. Well, there's a whole lot more coming with that, Mike, but I get what you're saying. So, yeah. Any other questions? All right, guys, I will see you guys Sunday 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will hear back from my the gentleman who's the Hispanic dispatcher who lives in Colombia, South America. He called me 3 times today. So
He's got a question for you, Charles.
What's the time difference? What's the time difference?
That's a good question because he called me around. I was in the box truck actually, and he called me 11 a.m. So I don't know what time it was over there, but I'll have to look up the time zone. But I told him to if he's going to get, because that's an international call. He said it costs him a lot. I said you need to get a stateside phone line or some kind of phone service that you can sync your. And I don't know how it would work, but you would have to sync your international calls to the U.S. line. Get a Google Voice or something that you could. So when you call me, I'll see a specific number and I'll know it's you. And you know, and I said I'll even split the difference with you if you're going to be translating Latino and Hispanic owner operators, and we get them set up and start booking loads for them because they'll, you know, Latino and Spanish speaking cultures, they fit together, so they want to help each other. So if I got a dispatcher who's communicating with them, getting them loads and booking them loads, you know, they'll pretty much take any load. You know, they're actually driving the market down a little, the rates down because they're taking cheap freight. But I don't want to do it for that reason. I just want to do it to get the experience of trying to get that niche of Latin speaking and Hispanic speaking owner operators. So, getting the dispatching class, the dispatching seminar that weekend, that not this weekend, but next weekend is $99 for that 2 to 3 hour seminar, online seminar. But the to enroll in the subscription-based platform, the training, the ongoing training is a different price, and that's on the website. Let me put the link here. For you, and then privately for you, if you're still here. All right. Oh yeah, too. Also, by the way, an update. My mom was moved from. Let's see, a few days ago, she was moved from ICU to the step-down unit to a regular room in the hospital. And then today at 3:30, 3:40, 4 o'clock, she was taken out of the hospital back to the nursing home. So she's transitioning from this COVID-19 and her pneumonia and CHF and COPD. So that's a good sign when you leave the hospital and go back to your. Now she's going to be in the nursing home, still quarantined in a specific area where there are patients or residents in the nursing home who are coming down from having the COVID virus. So she's still going to be separated from the other main populated residents of the nursing home, but at least she's back in that environment as opposed to being in the hospital. So that was good news. I was glad to hear that. So. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you Sunday.
Hey, Doc, one last thing.
Yep.
When you go back to the nursing home, make sure that they keep her lungs clear. Because, you know, phlegm and everything builds up. So I'm going to make sure they keep her lungs clear. Her breathing lungs.
Okay, I'm going to make that point. I'll make that point with my sister because my sister's scheduled to go over there tomorrow. I won't be available tomorrow, but she'll go over there tomorrow. I'm going to call my sister and yeah, because she is on a breathing treatment and ventilators and stuff like that, oxygen and things like that. So they give her a breathing treatment every so many hours because of COPD, the compulsive obstructive pulmonary disease that deals with the lungs and stuff. So she's on a breathing treatment to clear the lungs out. So that's a great point, though, Robert. Thank you. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your 4th. Don't burn the food on the grill too much. Now, and I will see you guys on Sunday. All right.